How do I practice being uncomfortable? By doing the important thing that makes you uncomfortable. A lot of guys are trying to find a shortcut, an easier way to practice being uncomfortable before they take on the really hard things that make them so uncomfortable that they can't do it today or they won't do it today. There are no shortcuts. But what you can do is do things incrementally or do small things to work your way up to the big things. But there is no shortcut. A lot of guys will try things like, oh, I'm going to take a cold shower every morning because that'll train me to be physically uncomfortable. And that'll help me when I feel discomfort in terms of standing up to my mom or my girlfriend or my wife. I would argue that those two things are not necessarily the same. But what you need to understand that this is about doing important things that make you uncomfortable. So pick things that are important, that are a little bit easier to start with than something like a breakup. Start with a very small boundary before you start talking about deal breakers. So work your way up to it, but keep it in the lane of things that are important to you. Just taking a cold shower is not particularly important to you, yet you may be thinking that this is going to make the rest of my life easier because I can take a cold shower. That may or may not be true. So how do I practice being uncomfortable? Again, it always boils down to doing the important thing that makes you uncomfortable. And if it's too much for you at that time, try finding a smaller thing that's important to do that also makes you a little less uncomfortable. See you next time.